Welcome to Live from Mars. My name is Alex. You may know me as Mars from TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, this podcast even. That would be amazing. Welcome back for another episode. I am joined today by my dear friend Amanda. If you've been listening to Live from Mars, you may recognize her face, know her voice at this point. She's actually stuck on Mars, right?
On Mars.
So Amanda, welcome back to Live from Mars. Thrilled to have you here. We're talking about something near and dear to your heart today.
Okay. Near and dear is a little bit excessive, but I do love what we're talking about today.
We are here today to talk everything about Tate McRae's new album, So Close to What. I posted my first reaction to the album, and many of you were very unhappy to say the least. So I want to talk all about So Close to What with Amanda, because Amanda has been probably the most consistent Tate fan as a music content creator that I know personally. And she is always, which if you're saying that, maybe that speaks to the fact that there aren't many of them.
Listen, we'll talk about it.
We got a lot to go through. So yeah, my first impression of the album was not overwhelmingly positive. It wasn't that it was bad at all. I would probably give it like a 6 out of 10 if I had to give a number right off the top of my head. But we're going to go deep into the album. I want to talk about how Tate got to where she is today, what her musical upbringing was like, how that all led to where we are right now with this new album, what it means for Tate as an artist, and where she can go from here. So thrilled to have you, Amanda. Where do you want to begin? Because you very much enjoyed the record.
I did.
And I want you to try to convince me that this is a great album.
Okay. Your thoughts on the album are totally valid, but you are... People shouldn't be as crazy as they are when they're telling you that you're wrong, but...
But you're wrong.
But you're wrong. I really enjoyed the album, and I haven't always liked Tate's music. I liked... what's the single?
You Broke Me First?
Yes. I liked You Broke Me First, but I didn't necessarily like any of the other music surrounding that album. And then as Greedy came out and Think Later happened, I started to like that album a lot more. However, I do think that So Close to What is extremely better than any of the other stuff that she's put out in the past. So Alex has been telling me that, he feels that she doesn't really have like this character, this personality, or this brand. But I do think that she has really developed that over the past year the past 2 years between Think Later and this album. And that's why I think she's caught more of my attention and she's really gotten me into her music. To me, this is like the perfect pop music that I've been wanting. And it may not be the type of pop that like Chapel's making, Lady Gaga's making, that is a little more groundbreaking. This is very just like typical pop that I've been wanting. It's just like feeding like my pop soul. And I just needed something like this to get me hyped the fuck up.
I get it. I think that that's completely fair. I guess to give background on like my relationship with Tate, I heard You Broke Me First back in 2020, 2021 probably, and loved it.
Yeah.
I thought it was very much playing
like
into
song.
Yeah, and I was really interested in her as an artist because her tone was really unique on a production like that. It was very bedroom poppy, post Billie Eilish, like When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go, that dark sound. And I thought it worked really well for the tone that she has. And I was intrigued by where she was going to go with it. And then I was a little bit confused, but also enjoying where she pivoted next, which was the big top 10 hit, She's All I Want to Be, and playing into that pop punk early 2000s sound that her very good friend Olivia Rodrigo was also playing into, and I thought that sounded really great. But where she lost me was then the pivot into Greedy, Exes, this like
hell no
slinkier.
Yeah, it's like She's All I Want to Be was good, but this stuff to me is so much better.
I don't know if I can say one is better than the other at this point right now, but where I was left was, who is Tate McRae as a musician? Because you have on one hand the bedroom pop sound, and then you have the Y2K pop punk, and then you go into this early 2000s R&B, hip hop, pop, like Britney Spears in the Zone sound, which I'm all here for, but it leaves you wondering who Tate is as an artist at her core. And I want to talk about the album specifically, and then I want to talk about her as an artist and where it positions her. And if you're looking at the albums back to back, Think Later, So Close to What, I was listening to So Close to What all day yesterday. I heard your guys' comments loud and clear. Give it another listen. Work out to it at the gym, which I did yesterday during Back and By Day. I will give you this. It hits more when you're working out than sitting in a chair reacting to it. So I will give you guys that. But I think that the album is strong, simple pop. And it's what Switched on Pop, one of my favorite podcasts of all time, had a whole episode dedicated to Tate, and they talked about simple pop, where Ryan Tedder's writing style, who has been a consistent collaborator with Tate for years now, is throw as many hooks at the wall as you possibly can, pick the best one, turn it into the chorus, and then use the rest of them to craft the rest of the song. And that is 100% what is on this album also. And then you have the tone and the songwriting, and to me, it just consistently feels like someone put into an AI generator, give me what a pop song should sound like in 2025, and that's what Switched on Pop said. That literally took the exact thoughts out of my head and said it in a much more cohesive way than I did. So that's where I am.
I do not disagree with you that this is like simpler pop, and, you know, it's not anything super groundbreaking. However, I do think that she's doing it extremely better than like any other people have tried, and it's been the most gripping of commercially sounding pop music than what I've heard in a long time. The reason why this album and Tate connects with me is because it makes me feel good and it makes me feel sexy. It's for the girls, you know, it's like, I'm a girl listening to this album, I feel sexy. We're talking about sex. That's a lot of what she put in this album. It's about love, it's about sex and being in your young 20s and having fun and exploring. So I think if she wasn't able to perform the way that she does, because let's talk about it, she's an insane dancer. And that has been what's gripped me over the past like year and a half, 2 years. She's leaned more towards this new style of music because you can't really like get down till You Broke Me First, you know?
Yeah.
But like that has completely gripped me. And it's the way that Tate does it where it's so sexy and confident. And that is what's made me like enjoy Tate's music more than some of like the other big pop girls of this era, because it is also edgy. Sabrina is very like princess sexy, you know, blonde, like old Hollywood style. Tate is like that raw, like edgy, sexy. Yeah, like that.
I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think that you really hit the nail on the head, that the way to analyze and look at Tate McRae as an artist is by realizing that before anything, she's a performer.
Yes.
She's a performer. She is not a singer. She is not a songwriter.
Yeah, I do not listen to her music or would want to go see her live because of her vocal abilities per se.
She is a performer first things first. What I mean by that is that she's then creating music that is able to be performed. She's not there to create a song like Coney Island that Taylor Swift has. You know, she's there to create a Greedy, an Exes, a Two Hands, to perform it. So all the songs that she's making are there to be performed. And you can very much hear it in the music because a lot of them sound very similar or follow a very similar tempo or song structure that it makes it easy for her to perform to and choreograph. So I think that is where a lot of the disconnect is for me personally, and I'm unlocking it as I'm talking about it. This is where it gets confusing, though, is that on one hand, you have that mentality and realization that first things first, she is a performer. The music that she is creating is to be performed. Then you have people who are like, no, this is the pop album of the year. Her songwriting is stellar. She's incredibly vulnerable. And this is a true advancement of artistry and pop music moving forward. And that side, I cannot get behind. I don't think that this is anything revolutionary, but that's okay.
I think that's fair, but I agree with your points on it like not being anything revolutionary, but that's exactly what I need. This is what I'm trying to explain to you because, you know, woman to man, it's a different listening experience for you than it is for me. It makes sense to me why this isn't your favorite thing in the world.
Right. I also think it's from the angle of escapist pop music. You're channeling something to feel like more confident in yourself by listening to this. And I totally see that. It's not that way for me personally. And I'm trying to just evaluate it on the perspective of, is this good music? And I think that's where people are having an issue with my take on it.
Yeah.
take the emotion, the sentimentality out of it. If we're objectively trying to review this music based on the qualities of the song, of the album, songwriting, production skills, how it compares to her evolution as an artist, that's where I'm trying to focus objectively here.
Yeah.
So I took notes on every song as I was listening to it yesterday, whatever it was, and wrote down my just raw, unfiltered thoughts.
Okay.
So let's go a little bit deeper into the album. Let's check out a few songs. Amanda, what is your favorite song on So Close to What so far?
Favorite is obviously right now is going to be Sports Car, because that shit just came out of here and fucking knocked me into a new realm.
Very, very, very strong song.
Yes, but besides the singles, I really like Miss Possessive, the album opener, and Purple Lace Bra are my two favorite.
Wow, we actually agree on something.
Wow.
Purple Lace Bra was my favorite on first listen.
You're valid for that.
Oh, so I'm valid for that. I love that.
Yes, because at least you're not fully wrong.
I want to talk about the 3 singles first and foremost.
Yeah.
It's Okay, I'm Okay was the first. Two Hands came right after, and then Sports Car is the most recent. Let's start with It's Okay, I'm Okay. Do you think that was the right choice for a lead? And why do you think that they chose that when you have a song like Two Hands or Sports Car that could have been the first instead of the second or third?
I think it progressively got better. Honestly, that felt great to me, because It's Okay, I'm Okay was already up here for me. And then she popped herself again, and then topped herself again. I think she waited to do Sports Car right before the album because she knew that one was the hitter.
Yeah.
And that's the one that's moving the most on TikTok right now. It has almost 1 million creates already. I honestly think it was the perfect progression.
So I actually agree with you that the progression of the singles was really interesting because they progressively got better. I am trying to think on the flip side, though, if you know that Sports Car is probably the strongest of the bunch, why not lead with that and have that become a monstrous hit that will then cascade into the album's release over a little bit more time? Yeah. But I actually think that this worked out really well for her, because that continuation of building and building towards something, the only risk is that if the album isn't going to be as good as the singles, if it's going to be you're climbing up the stairs, and then instead of going down the slide, it's just a cliff and you fall off. And that's how I felt listening to the album. That I was getting somewhere, and I was finally starting to grow and be like, oh yeah, this is great. Sports Car is amazing. Two Hands I really, really enjoy. And then I just felt like it fell off. There were maybe 2 songs on the rest of the album that I actually really enjoyed. Those were Purple Lace Bra and maybe Green Light. Mm-hmm. I felt like when I was looking at the album and looking at each song, the front half is definitely stronger than the second half, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I think the front half having Miss Possessive, Two Hands, Revolving Door, Dear God, Purple Lace Bra, Sports Car, that was consistent hit after hit after hit. The thing with a lot of these songs, specifically Miss Possessive, Dear God, and Sports Car, they're almost the exact same song over and over again. The way that she's delivering the chorus is near identical on every one of them.
I don't disagree.
It's very short, staccato, da 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 da. That's Miss Possessive.
That was beautiful.
Thank you. Miss Possessive and Sports Car do the exact same thing, except Sports Car is a whisper. Miss Possessive is a more like a singer. More singing.
No, I don't disagree with you.
I think Miss Possessive was a strong opener. We went into Two Hands right after that, which I loved when I first heard it. That to me was a way of making a melodic pop song that, call it simple, call it devoid of personal details, really, but it hits. And that chorus is
I
sticky.
agree with you that Two Hands has the best melody.
Yeah, and that's where I personally enjoy pop music, is a killer melody. So when a lot of these songs didn't have that, that's where I got lost along the way. Revolving Door was a great example of that. When every song started on this album, I went into it from the perspective of, what am I getting that's new here? Whether it is vocal ability, whether it is songwriting capability, whether it's some kind of experimental production choice. That's what I'm looking for as I'm listening to pop music at this point in my life. After 20-something years of listening to music, I'm looking for something fresh. Revolving Door offered that with the production. It felt very spacious. The echo effect on her vocals I really enjoyed. It was really hard to understand what she was saying on a lot of the album. Yeah. But I thought that everything was really strong until the chorus. I felt like the chorus, because there's no melody, it was very, again, da 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 da, like a revolving door, da 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 da. Like, and that works on a song like Sports Car. But the verses of Revolving Door being so melodic, I was like, oh yeah, like this is it. And then it dropped off. But that's just what I interpreted from it. What do you think?
I think I like Revolving Door the least of the three.
Really?
Yeah.
Of what three?
Of Miss Possessive and Sports Car. Hold on. Let's listen to it, shall we? So with Sports Car, that chorus is very staccato, and then her whispered vocals over it are different than what's in Miss Possessive. Off camera, me and Alex just listened to Miss Possessive. He hears it as like the snares of the staccato, but I'm listening to the bass when I listen to that song. And when I'm listening to it, I'm feeling like the groove like this, whereas he's hearing the ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
So Alex is I think you're a very smart music listener. I'll give you that. And you like to approach things at a very technical and interpretive level. And you want to, see the uniqueness in something, which I do as well. But I do just like some things that are not the most mind-blowing. And that's
fair
for me.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised you like Dua Lipa then.
Dua is more melodic, and Dua plays more into subgenres that I enjoy. Like, I really loved how on parts of Radical Optimism she was working with Kevin Parker of Tame Impala and brought in some psychedelic sounds to it. Like, that was cool and intriguing. Future nostalgia, bringing back all of the 80s and 70s disco and like sampling.
I think Future nostalgia was amazing.
But that is exactly where I get stuck, is that I think that an artist like Tate is actually very similar to an artist like Dua Lipa. Dua is not the best live performer, but she's gotten much better. But she has a much stronger voice than Tate, in my opinion. Dua can do more with her voice than Tate can. Now, with the music, I think Future Nostalgia is a really, really great example of creating quote-unquote mindless pop music that is not deeply personal. There is not a single ounce of Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo, Sabrina Carpenter in that kind of music. There's no deeply personal storytelling happening here. It's very much you're having fun at a club, go dance with your friends or go dance with someone and bring someone home. And I love that. I do enjoy that kind of music. Future Nostalgia is one of my favorite pop albums of the last 10 plus years. Mm-hmm. So the difference then between So Close to What and Future Nostalgia in my eyes was that Future Nostalgia was so deeply rooted in its production and bringing in fresh elements for both Dua as an artist at that point in her career and where the pop landscape was in 2020 when it came out. So you have a song like Don't Start Now that was very minimalist production, but it hit. And a lot of Tate's music is pretty minimal also.
I do think that Don't Start Now and Future Nostalgia in general obviously has that more melodic production that you like. I can literally tell you what the difference is.
Go for it.
Don't Start Now is not about sex.
My God.
I'm telling you, this is what this is all about. Being sexy. It's for the girls. It's for the girls who want to feel good in their skin and feel confident.
I'm just saying that the lack of melody makes it hard to latch on to something for me.
But I also feel like if the song meant something different.
I just think that there are other examples of sexy pop songs that offer more. Let's talk about a song that we both loved, Purple Lace Bra.
Okay, yes.
So I'm sitting here listening to the album. It's 6 songs in, Purple Lace Bra. And you hear those orchestral strings come through in the beginning. And I immediately perked up and I'm like, oh, this is something different. Like, this is a new element being brought into the music. And I was so excited by it. I'm like, ooh, are we getting like a softer moment, but with the strength that she brings in other versions of Tate on other songs? I think if your point is like, this is an album for people who want sex. This is an album for people who want to feel confident, who want to feel like they're in charge, who feel like they are bringing their full selves. I'm with you on that. But then I'm thinking, well, there are different ways to do that. You have a sports car. You have a two hands that's a little bit more melodic. But where I lost her on the album is that a lot of the songs kept doing the same thing over again with a slightly different twist.
Yeah.
Purple Lace Bra was a different approach. And I'm like, hell yeah, this is what I've been waiting for. And I actually found it to be incredibly awakening in the sense that she can be sexy and she can be sultry the same way that she does evoke that on Sports Car. You can do that on a softer moment like Purple Lace Bra. It's more sensual. It's more intimate, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
It feels like this is a true confessional moment. I thought the vulnerability here was a great bridge of like sex appeal and sadness. What did you think about it?
I agree with every point that you have. I think this is a great song, and I do like that it's a bit of a come down and like more of an intimate, sultry song. To me, it sounds very much like how Addison sang on Diet Pepsi. It's not necessarily like the whispering again, but it's very soft, which I love. It's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah, that was my favorite of the bunch immediately on first listen. And that is one that I would like consistently come back to. Yeah. And I guess at the end of the day, what I'm looking for from my pop music is really strong melodies and unique production.
Yeah.
Whereas that's not the case for everybody. And that's the huge difference, is that if I'm looking for that from my pop stars, I don't get that from Tate usually. I get it on a song like Purple Lace Bra. I get it on a song like Sports Car and Two Hands. Whereas you're going to her for a different feeling. You're going to Tate's music to feel something different than I am.
I think the only song I really don't love is the one with the Kid Laroi, which... Yeah. Who inspired a lot of this album writing about, I really did you not like Blood on My Hands with Flo Milli?
I thought it was fine. I liked the Flo Milli verse. It reminded me of like Thank You Next, Ariana Grande era.
And that's bad?
No, it's not bad, but I'd rather Ariana do it. Because if I'm comparing those two on the same scale, like Ariana's offering me more with her voice and with her personality being injected into the music itself. Whereas this doesn't feel to me like, oh my God, I hear this song. This is a Tate McRae song. That's the difference. It actually reminded me of My Boo. At night, I think of you.
Yeah, it's very like fast paced like that.
The Kid Laroi song was rough. It was rough.
Yeah.
I am so against when anyone is in a relationship and like Sabrina bringing Barry Keoghan into the Please, Please, Please music video, and then they break up.
So
he proved her right. He proved her right. Whenever an artist brings their significant other into a duet and then they don't last, it just drives me crazy because like you think it's going to age really well and it usually doesn't.
Yeah.
Taking all of like the personal relationship out of it, the song itself, I actually didn't mind their voices together. I thought that they actually sounded pretty good together. The writing is just rough. Like the chorus is just so repetitive. I know love, what it is, what it is, what it is, what it is.
I agree with you on this.
And I think like this is a great example of the issue I had from a songwriting perspective with the album, is that when you have like, she has an A-list team of songwriters across the entire album. You have Ryan Tedder, who is behind One Republic, who is one of the biggest hit makers of the last 20 years. You have Julia Michaels, Justin Tranter, who are behind so much of Selena Gomez's huge hits, Britney Spears, Justin Bieber. Every artist has seemingly worked with them at this point.
Yeah.
You then have Amy Allen, who just won a Grammy for her songwriting. When you have that many A-list songwriters together, how do you make this album? From a songwriting perspective, that was something I just like could not get over.
I mean, that's a fair point. On the topic of songwriting, I do think there's one song that I actually really like the songwriting on. No, I'm Not in Love. She's basically explaining the denial of catching feelings for someone and you're trying to like convince yourself that like you're not. And I just feel like that's such a relatable thing. Again, I kind of giggled a little when I was like listening to, because I was like, oh my God, it's relatable.
I'm very intrigued by the fact that you said that this was the songwriting one for you, because my notes from when I listened verbatim say,
your least favorite?
Hate the post-chorus. Songwriting is rough. And then it says in quotes, Friendses with 3 question marks.
Wait, where's Friendses?
The lyric is, I'm not bothered looking up your exes. Matter of fact, we could probably be friendses.
Okay, that's bad.
Like, come on.
Wait, where is this? I'm trying to see it.
Second verse. The first verse I wasn't mad about. Swear I'm only sleeping at your house 6 times in 1 week because it's convenient, and I'm only kind of dressing like you now because your clothes, they fit me, and that's good reason. I understand the sentiment there, and I can visualize it. I wasn't mad
Friends
about
is,
that.
oh my God, I didn't even hear that.
I wish I didn't.
Okay, but again, obviously not mind-blowing songwriting, but I think it's funny. It's relatable. Also, that reminds me of Lie to Girls for Sabrina.
Yeah. Well, I think to wrap up the album, the point that I keep coming back to in my head is what I had said earlier about first things first, Tate McRae is a performer. Tate McRae is a commercial artist who is creating music to go out on tour, to perform it to sold out crowds, to then have the money to go back then and do another album to consistently do the cycle. Whereas other artists are, I don't say this to make it sound bad, but other artists are creating new entries in pop music and introducing new textures, new production trends, new types of songwriting, different song structures. And the most successful people are the ones who can bridge the two together. Like, most successful in terms of sales and like a critical acclaim.
I mean,
So
I don't disagree.
That's where I think this is at. That this is a commercial album to create hits so she can go out on tour and perform them incredibly well.
I don't disagree, and I think that's the reason why she hasn't quite hit that level of Sabrina and Chapel and Olivia. And obviously Taylor is like, no one's going to hit that level. But, you know, all the other pop girlies we love. I think a takeaway from this episode is music can be interpreted, obviously, in so many different ways. And there's a reason why it clicks with me and maybe not as much with you. And no one should be coming after Alex and the about him not liking it. I've already given him enough shit.
Oh, yeah. May I add, in terms of giving me enough shit, okay, it is, where are we? 12:20 a.m. Oh, I'm about to fight you on this album, LOL, is the text I get from Amanda.
I feel like I've gone easy on you.
Yeah, it could be worse.
But I think this album is a perfect case study of it not necessarily being the most unique and groundbreaking thing, but that doesn't...
You can still pull value from it.
Enjoy.
You can still find something.
Yeah.
Yep. Everyone goes to music for different reasons, whether it's an escape from reality, whether it's to evoke a certain emotion. The music that I tend to go towards is to like pull something unique out of. And that's just like I said earlier, at this point in my life, right now, just where I am in life, relationship status, career status, this Alex here today, February 2025, I'm looking for music that is going to challenge me to see things differently. That's why I love an artist like Billy or Charlie XCX. I understand why this album is hitting for a lot of you. I understand why a lot of you are loving this. It's just not for me at this moment. And maybe at one point in my life it will be. And I'll come back to this and say, I'm looking for that escapist pop music. Give me something like this again, Tate. So if you're Amanda's playlist, you are a playlist girly.
Yeah.
If you had to cherry pick 5 songs from this album to land on your playlist that you're going to say to someone, hey, if you want to get into this album, if you want to get into Tate, if you want to feel what I feel from this music, what are your 5?
Is it crazy that I want to pick the 3 singles?
Not at all.
I'd probably do Miss Possessive, Two Hands, Purple Lace Bra, Sports Car, It's Okay, I'm Okay.
Those are my exact 5.
Okay, we can agree on things.
That's beautiful. The only one that was not there that I think could be there is Greenlight. I thought that the production was really interesting right out the gate. The songwriting here was incredibly visual, which is something I was missing on a lot of the album. I thought the verses were stronger than the chorus, which again is the case with most of Tate's music for me. But the chorus is good. The chorus was good. It wasn't great. I liked the message here. That one was one that I could come back to. I would swap It's Okay, I'm Okay out and put Greenlight in. But otherwise, I'm 100% with you.
I think my next would be Dear God.
All right. Well, I think we've come to the conclusion that neither of our opinions fully changed, but our top 5 are the same, and we're appreciating the same songs the most from this album. So that is a huge win for us.
And everyone go listen to it, album of the year. No kidding. I'm not that delulu.
Thank you. Thank God. All right. Well, that is so close to what Tate McRae. This album is going to continue to be a presence throughout the year, I think. We're going to see continued success from a song like Sports Car. The Revolving Door music video is really strong, and I appreciate, Amanda, you coming on, being able to talk about this, hearing out both of our perspectives. Hopefully those of you listening learned something new, or were able to take a different angle to this album than you had before listening. But yeah, where can everyone find you if they want to hear more of your hot takes on music?
Amanda's Playlists on TikTok and Instagram, and Amanda's Playlists with 4T's on YouTube.
4T's.
Because I stole my name, apparently.
How dare they? If you're not already following and subscribed to the podcast, please make sure you do so. It is the way we continue to get things to grow here on Mars. But I appreciate all of you listening. Stay tuned for more episodes. And if you haven't already, go check out the backlog. This is, I think, episode 14. There are 13 other episodes for you to listen to across some of your other favorite pop albums. So there are other episodes with Amanda as well. I encourage you to go check those out. Hope you guys enjoyed. We will see you all soon. Thank you for listening and have a great one. Bye.